Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a little late night StarCraft here on the main stage. And what could be better than a tied up series between MC and MVP?
Not a whole lot of things. Unless it goes to an ace match, I may actually end up losing my mind. But of course, we do not want to get ahead of ourselves. The next map is going to be the GSL version of Whirlwind, which I'm actually really excited to see between these two players. And we're just making sure both players are ready before we hop into this next game.
They're ready to rock and roll. Let's make it happen.
They are. Are you guys still ready out there? You still awake? At least one person's awake.
That's about half of the crowd.
Yeah, no, the other half is absolutely sleeping at this point. It's getting a little bit late, but it's never too late for esports. Why don't people learn that?
Well, let me just put it this way. The GSTL preseason completely ruined my sleeping schedule.
That is true.
It was rough. Staying up till 6 in the morning to watch that stuff, it was worth every single second. All right, folks, we are here on Whirlwind, and we are also, as you may note, in far cross positions. This might go on for a while. Let's see. Here we go to the northwest position in the red trunks, playing Protoss, currently tied 1 apiece in this fantastic series. SKMC!
And down in the bottom right corner, being very manner after game 1, but he had his game face on in game 2 to tie it up. Please give a cheer for I am MVP. And TB, I want to just point out, if you're not familiar with this map, it is very large.
Yep.
There's a lot of expansions.
Yep.
And there's only one watchtower.
Absolutely.
And
which, in my opinion, is a great combination.
I like all of those things. And so I think what we're going to be seeing here is an absolutely epic game. And also, I think on the minimap, it kind of looks like a derpy smiley face with those 2 supply depots and the mineral patches. Maybe that's just me and I'm like 5 years old, but it looks pretty cool to me. Do you see it there?
I'm just not getting it. Is this like the Rorschach test where I'm supposed to tell you whether or not I see a cute bunny or a man on fire?
Yeah, and if you don't see either of those things, you're actually like a murderer. So hopefully you see the cute bunny.
Well, I guess I'm not getting hired again.
That is absolutely true. But long story short, this map, very large, could have lots of epic engagements here, lots of potential for drop. Once again, the double gas here now.
Pretty early too, actually.
Yeah, no, very early. And I'm kind of curious to see, is he going to go for the double, or with the double gas, is he going to go for the Stargate? On the other PVT I was watching, the double gas never actually meant an early Stargate.
No,
so there's still a lot of other options here, and it's just going to make me look silly if he just goes for a Stargate once again. But I really like the Phoenix play here. I think more players should do it. I think there's a lot to be learned from that game 1.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The main problem is that this map actually lacks a lot of dead space.
Right.
Whereas other maps have a lot of maneuverability. So if you need to get out of there with Oracles or Phoenixes, you've got a way to do that. This also means that Widowmine deployment can hurt a lot more.
Yes.
You can put it right on the edge, and you can essentially block off any possibility of getting behind there without taking a hit. Right now, though, we do have the CC going down here for MVP, different build this time, going into the double bags to follow that up. And that's just to play a little bit of catch-up because he's got nice and greedy, and he's decided, yeah, I want to mine as quickly as possible. I'm going to forsake everything else in order to do that.
I honestly thought MC would have gone in Nexus first here just based on, I mean, they don't know each other's spawn locations right now. You can see him scouting around. But I honestly thought that he would have went Nexus first here just because it's such a large map.
Look at the position of that pylon in his base, actually. That's kind of telling. That's all the way off in the corner right there. I have to wonder what he's planning on putting there. It could be another Stargate play, of course. We could see something even funkier. We could see Dark Templar. But we will find out very soon. Yeah,
I mean, Dark Templar are a very viable option. We've actually seen them used a lot more. Because remember, they're a little bit cheaper to get out. The Dark Shrine itself costs less gas and is much easier to get out than it used to be. So you would see that. But guess what? It's a Stargate once again. Now, the question is here, is it going to be Phoenix or is it going to be Oracle? Back in the day, it would have been almost a guaranteed Void Ray like we were saying. But that has since been a thing of the past. We haven't seen it very much. We might see it come back, though, because the Void Ray, the prismatic alignment is actually really good versus bunkers. So might actually end up seeing that at some point here. And I almost feel like with this Stargate play, Terran kind of reminds me of Zerg in that you have to react accordingly to what your opponent's doing because the Protoss is going to be the aggressor here.
That's very true. The Void Ray bust is still a possibility here.
Yeah.
You could bust down that front very, very nicely indeed. That prismatic alignment is an ability that kicks in for a while, then it goes on a cooldown, and it gets a bonus against armored targets, which of course a bunker is. So if you want to smash a bunker down, it's a good way to do it. It is going to be an Oracle coming out, however, here from MC. The question is, what is he using it for? Because I have to wonder if last game it was a build that he'd prepared or if it was a bit of improvisation based on his situation. Yeah. With a player at that level, it's really hard to know.
Yeah, no, I'm extremely curious because that definitely would make this build make a lot more sense. Now, what doesn't make sense to me, and I'm kind of curious to see how it shapes up, is that MVP actually got up the ramp with that SCV. He saw there was no expansion, and then what do you know? He's all of a sudden making 3 Marines with the Tech Lab going for the stem pack. So I think he realized, you know what? Oh, and the SCV actually spotted it there as it went under the Oracle. That's actually huge, that SCV preemptively scouting where it needed to be. MVP, I can tell you, he adapted quick, man. He's like the Terminator. You tell him one thing, he's going to learn it immediately and not lose to it again.
Well, the question is how much damage is going to really be done by this Oracle now that it has been spotted. Will we see Oracle production cease after 3, or will he go for the full 5? Will he switch it around like he did previously and try to use it for a bust, which didn't quite work out all that well the last time? Moving in with the Mothership Core once again. MVP, I do wonder if he did spot it. It was only a fraction of a second. It's possible he didn't, or he might think, all right, I'm just going to keep my Marines closest to my main mineral line because that's the safest position to react, rather than my natural mineral line where there are less workers. But we will see. We're going to find out pretty soon. MC now moving in additional Oracles down at the bottom. That's 3. He is going for 4. He's adding on more gateways in the back as well.
Yeah, he did move a lot of those Marines now down to that natural, and also in a very defensive posture here, splitting up his army, which is something that you're not used to having to do versus Protoss, because back in the day it was either Void Rays or Phoenix, which you kind of wanted your units together for. Yeah. But right now the Oracle's still chilling out over there, the Mothership kind of poking around, might try and bait some of these units over here, but I think, honestly, MVP is reacting perfectly here. I hope MC realizes that, MVP basically has his number right now. He's reading him like an open book. He knows what's going to go on. And if MC doesn't realize that, he may be caught in a weird position similar to what we saw in the last game.
Yeah, he's totally zoned out here. We've just got to swap around, which is allowing Medivacs to come out. It's also going to allow Vikings to come out. Once that happens, those Oracles are not going to be all that much use. He's about to run right into a wall of pain right here. Does he have enough Oracles to smash this? He's got the control coming in right there.
Go for it.
This is dicey one way or the other. He's got to make those Oracles very carefully, but the sheer amount of damage is enough to smash the natural expansion. But more Marines coming in to reinforce right now. MC got to be incredibly careful. This is 1. 2 Oracles going down. This is an expensive trade on both sides. And that is it. MC manages to keep 2 Oracles alive, goes straight for the middle line.
Wow.
And now he's brought in the Mothership Core to support as well. The Marines down as well. This is fantastic. MC just busts right through it.
That was so many Marines on the defense. I thought for sure MC had enough, but seriously, Oracles are so good versus light units. They basically do 25 damage versus light, so 2 ticks from that is going to kill off those SCVs, and more Marines are on the way, but the time warp there on the ramp, this is such a sick combo. I feel like MVP, he had a good read. I don't know if he's gone against the specific build, though, because he needed a Viking or 2, and MC pulls those out, comes out ahead.
It was a great timing, honestly, from MC. It actually got in a really narrow window where he could have just waited a little bit longer. The missile turret would have been up, and Vikings could have started production after the first couple of Medivacs. If that had happened, that would have gone completely the other way. MVP could have had all of his Marines at the natural instead of splitting between his main. That too could have changed that. That was such a knife-edge decision there by MC to actually just go balls out and just attack and keep attacking. Not pull back as soon as you saw there's like 15 Marines in this natural. I better pull back. These are expensive units. But no, he calculates it just right and he smashes his way through. And for his reward, he kills a bunch of Marines and 17 workers.
Yeah, and also on those Oracles, they have, I believe it's 16 kills apiece.
It's ridiculous.
Double master there, so we'll see which Oracle pulls out ahead in the kill count, but for right now, it is an absolutely absurd place to be. And I think he actually is sending them directly towards that missile turret. We'll have to see if the missile turret actually manages to take him out, or if MC is going to be paying attention right here. One shot there. He's going to not fall for that.
No big deal. Splashes on the shields, no problem there whatsoever. MC now moving an observer in as well, which is always going to be nice, especially if he wants to try and find widow mines lying around the place. He will not find any, but he's going to get some nice information regardless. MVP trying to consolidate his forces right now, looking for that powerful push, Marine, Marauder, Medivac, looking potentially for drops as well, because as you said before, Oracle's really, really nice, but they don't shoot air. So there is the possibility they could get caught out by yet more drop play.
Down goes 2 more SCVs. Going to try and focus down this barracks. Don't think he's going to get there. There are Vikings here, though. Keep in mind the Oracles are ridiculously fast.
Yeah, they'll get away.
With the 3.38. Vikings only 2.75, which normally seems pretty fast, but not when in comparison. Now, I do want to say that MC did manage to get himself quite the substantial lead, but this isn't the exact same game that we saw on Star Station or any situation where he was able to kill a bunch of workers, because the map is so large. MVP already has his 3rd command center here, and even though he hasn't expanded per se, he's able to rebuild those workers much more quickly.
A lot quicker.
And he's actually tied in workers right now. So the fact of the matter is that, yes, MC's still ahead. He's got a nice little lead here going on, but it's not a game-winning move right there just yet, because MVP just has more time to recover.
MVP's got a nice composition against the army of MC right now. It's very Stalker heavy. He's getting a good amount of Marauders in that mix as well. Widowmine pops off there, and a little bit of damage inflicted. Shields go down, but thankfully it doesn't look like any actual armor damage was done, so he should be able to recover that. MVP now pushing towards that one central watchtower, and he's going to try and pivot from this position and control the map, but he let a probe through. There was a slip up there, and a proxy pylon has been snuck down to the bottom of the map here.
Yeah, I mean, this is telling you MC is ready to tango, and not in the fun way, because he's got that pylon right at the base of the ramp. These Marine Marauder will spot this, but even if they stop to attack it, it might not be worth it. MC just powering off of these 2 bases. If MVP right now does not actually deal with this, he is going to lose, because MC is basically at this point going all in off the 2 bases. He's doing huge warp ends. That's so many units. Right at the front of the line, there's no siege tanks. He has revealed those units, so he knows what's going to be at the top of this ramp, and it does look like the Oracles get taken out immediately, but I don't think it matters here, as there's just so much stuff. The Colossus do go down as well. Well, I don't know. Can MVP actually hold right now?
He has a lot of Marauders. He's got a lot of meat, and there's not a lot of Zealots at the front to actually tank that damage. The Zealots are now dead, and the Colossi took a lot of damage, but the Vikings have now been picked off, which means that single Colossus at the back is doing damage, and there's another blink in here from MC. MVP falling in supply dramatically here. Reinforcements come around the back, focusing fire as much as he can. There's more Zealots in the fray now, but MC continues to push forward right into the natural, shoving his opponent all the way back up his ramp. A quick blink, an aggressive blink, right on top of the reinforcing units, trying to target them down as quickly as he can. Not a lot of Marauders left in this composition. The Stalker's doing a great job. The SCV's pulled off the line to try and hold up against this, but MC is looking good. GG!
Wow! MC, I think, just kind of mind-gamed him there, getting so many Oracles, doing the very similar build to what we saw in the last game on a huge map that could easily be a macro map. MC says, ain't nobody got time for that, man. We're going to end this right now.
2 base, man.
Yeah.
Every gate you can possibly build, throw it at the enemy.
And that worked out exceptionally well here. And I feel like MVP, he's almost kind of learning this as he goes, because the first game, the Oracle just completely crushed him. The second game, he found out, okay, a little bit more defense, got to be fine. Third game, he was like, all right, a little bit less on the defense, but more on the Marines. If nothing else, I'm learning a lot about Oracles right now, because that did not work out. I thought for sure that was enough Marines. Nowhere near enough to hold that off.
No, it wasn't. And we've said there were several scenarios where that wouldn't have worked. There was one scenario where it would, and that just happened to be the one that was in play at that point. And MVP is getting held back hard. He is playing the defensive player every game versus a player of the caliber of MC, who is getting super aggressive over and over and over again, trying to smash him and trying to delay the drop potential. As we saw, drops are incredibly dangerous in Heart of the Swarm.
Yes.
You've got to shut that down. You've got to prevent that from even occurring in the first place.
Yeah, right now in the current metagame, it kind of reminds me of when Wings Liberty first came out. Protoss had no idea how to deal with just Marine Marauder by themselves, because the cost efficiency in a straight-on battle, it's going to destroy you. And I feel like that's how drops are right now. So what we're going to see is a lot of Protoss players denying those drops. That's what MC is doing. We're going to find out if he can keep doing it in game number 4, which is pretty awesome, right after this.